Digital Ramblers, how are ya? JJ Canon and my good friend Kris Gamble. What's going on, brother?
Hey JJ, glad to be joining you again from the customized bunker here, my temporary HQ during lockdown.
Man, I keep getting moved around. Last week I was over in our common area and I can't go over there, so now I'm out on my patio. I gotta wait that hand, a little bit of greenery behind me. Our last episodes last week, we blasted out 5 episodes?
Yeah, so we did a three-parter, which was unusual and unique really for us. We've been quite slow and steady, one episode a week, but we had a long discussion last week and it ended up cutting up into 3 parts, and we had an excellent reaction to it. Yeah, so you want to be a smart home pro, asked the big question and got a great reaction to that. So 3 parts, but also something new has appeared, a little bit of fun, a little bit of a rewind to some of our greatest hits, as you like, the Gamble, Ramble, and Canon Fire.
Best ofs, man. And I went through and I was listening to some of those Gamble, and dude, Fuego. Every one of them were just on fire. And so I want to encourage our friends and listeners to go and check out, all 3 of last week's episode 67, 68, 69. So you want to be a home tech pro. And then also episode 70 and 71 for an extended version, a refresh, a relive of the best of Canon Fire as well as Gamble Ramble. And man, those are great. And you actually produced those, Gamble.
Yeah, well, I just used the tools that are available in Anchor. And if anyone is wanting to start a podcast, I'd highly encourage people to look at Anchor as a platform for hosting, distributing, and editing your podcast. And I know that we have a new podcaster in your household.
And we're going to get into it. Don't let the cat out the bag yet, but we're going to get into that for sure.
Okay, I'm intrigued by that.
And on this episode, season 12, episode 72, 6 smart home devices you can't live without during this lockdown.
Well, these are devices that we've certainly not been able to live without, and we've both spoken to our households, gauged the reaction to how tech has made a big difference during this lockdown to us all. And I've got 3 from my household, and JJ's got 3 as well from his house.
Yeah, man. All right. So friends who are new to the show, thank you for joining us. For those that don't know, I'm JJ Canon, CEO of Digital Delight here in Houston, Texas, where we create incredible experiences through using technology in residential or in commercial applications. I also got a master's degree in getting knocked down and getting back up.
And I'm JJ's co-host over here in the UK. My name's Kris Gamble, founder, co-owner of Customized. We are an East of England based smart home business. We have the joy of working in this beautiful part of the country, making people's homes smart, challenging ourselves with sensible pricing plans, and just love making people's homes transition from dumb to smart.
Yeah, man. And we've been at this thing called the Digital Ramble for a good year and a half, close to 2 years. And if you want to learn more about the Digital Ramble, check us out at our website, digitalrambleshow.com. You can always send us an email at digitalramble@gmail. We're on 11 plus podcast streaming services. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We're all over the place.
Yeah. Easy to get in touch with us, and also it's easy to support the show. If you've heard of Patreon, get over there, patreon.com, just search for the Digital Ramble, and you can, for as little as $1 a month, support the show and other things. Patreon's a cool website.
Yeah, thank you, Patreons. We greatly appreciate your sponsorship. All right, Gamble, you ready to get into this?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I've got tales from the customized household.
All right, push the button.
So the lockdown, the biggest test for home technology that we've ever faced, and hopefully your technology at home has handled it, and your network and your Wi-Fi and all your devices have played nicely throughout this period, because there's nothing more frustrating than tech letting you down and tech failing or being disconnected. And at the moment, we're all being pushed to the limits to work from home, school from home, the amount of home entertainment that's taking place, multiple devices connecting all at once. And we wanted this show to be about, and it's a bit of a revisit. We've done like 6 must have or 6 can't live without devices, and we thought we'd make it specific to the lockdown this episode.
Yeah, man. And my girls, I reached out to my girls, and obviously they've been communicating via devices, and so they were also able to take little senses from their friends as well. So
Okay.
not only do I got my 3, but I got a couple of others,
Okay.
on the outskirts that have given their 2 cents, and it's kind of interesting how they're all on the same page. Um, and I guess you want me to go ahead and start out. I'll go
Go
ahead
on.
and start out.
Go on.
Gamble, the foundation for everything that we do in today's business of home technology, small business technology, is Wi-Fi. And my girls, they were talking about, well, we'll get into what else they were talking about, but the network. If we did not have the network, then everything else that we're pretty much getting ready to talk about just couldn't happen. Just couldn't happen.
Sure.
And particularly in the spot that we're located in, the data service is just really crappy. Whenever we go inside, in most new built homes here in the States, double pane windows, barriers for the elements, you just can't get cellular reception. And so you have to pipe it in with a good network and then distribute it through Wi-Fi throughout your property. So if you want to use a laptop or iPad or mobile device, you have to have a good network. And so that was one of their top charting must-haves during the lockdown, of something that they're using on. I mean, gosh, man, looking through the windows, they're all on their devices right now, second by second.
Yeah.
Need.
And that's one household in millions and millions of households, and so the strain on the network, you have to have a robust network, and we say it every week, and we've said it again this week. Now, I've gone into devices on my side, and this one comes from my son. Young boy, missing his friends, missing school. He's still of that age that he actually enjoys school. He's surprised when I tell him that school wasn't my favorite time, but his he thinks, oh, everybody loves school, Dad.
Oh, yeah, school's the best. It's the greatest.
Yeah, but what he's missing is obviously the social side of school and hanging out with his friends. And with some limitations, we've not been anti-gaming. We've let our son spend some time gaming, and not just for the thrill of the game that they're playing, but with some communication with the other parents. We're making sure that some of his classmates, they're online at the same time, so that they can play Minecraft, so that they can play Roblox, and they can play whatever other games that that I'm out of touch with, they play. It's like their version of a conference call, a video call, or whatever. It's what we're doing with our work colleagues and what we're doing with our families, keeping in touch with them. These are 9-year-old kids keeping in touch with, joking and laughing and teasing each other, and trying to solve puzzles and whatever else they're doing in these games. So the Xbox has been essential tech for my son, and he said it himself. It's been great to still keep in touch with my friends from school.
Yeah, man, and something that is just amazing, Gamble. That whenever I was a kid, I used to have a pen pal, and I'd write a letter and I'd send it over to the UK, for my friends. And I did it make it? I don't know. You waited months until you got something hopefully back, from your pen pal that you might have met at camp. But Claire actually reached out to Jack to get his logon name, and now my daughter in Houston is playing with your son on Roblox.
Yeah.
On a daily, I don't know how often they're playing, together, but it's just amazing that connectivity of gaming and building and expanding of community. And the second up on my list is the laptop. Claire this morning, she got up early before class, to log on with her girlfriend so that they could be up to speed on what they were going to be covering for school. And that's all being done with her laptop. She put these headphones on. She looks like she's ready to, ready to rock and roll. And it's just amazing to me. And then later on, after I had gone out, I had done some work to visit with the client, and I came back. She was still on her laptop. And for most cases, I'd have a problem for that. But she's like, Dad, come take a look, see what I did. And they made her and her girlfriend were making a little chart of the life cycle of a frog.
Wow.
Like a tadpole, and to little tad, I don't know. Anyway, she could explain it, but I was amazed. And I was like, so this was a homework assignment? They're like, no, we just thought that we'd do it together and put it together. And I was just like, this is so awesome. I love this interconnectivity, this communication that they're having, and finding crafts to self-entertain but self-educate. And I truly believe that's because of the technology that they're using, like this laptop. Well, not this one, but their laptop.
I'm hoping that the lockdown will help the creatives out there come up with even better solutions and platforms and software for all ages to collaborate, communicate, and develop each other individually. I really hope that the lockdown gives them an opportunity to create even better experiences for us using technology.
Yeah, I hope so. And who knows what is going to come out of this in the next 10 to 15 years, because the kids that are experiencing this now will soon be the leaders in development.
Of course, they'll have this experience to draw upon, and they might see like big flaws that we think is cool to get by with and survive with, but there'll be obvious things to the teenagers today that are like, wow, I can't believe like my parents don't use this, or workplaces don't use this, businesses don't use that. So I'm hopeful that lots and lots of good is going to come out of this, as well as on the tech side. I think there's a lifestyle and a health and local focus that's going to come out of all this. Number 2 for me came from my wife, and she came up with a few suggestions, but she narrowed it down to one. And her tech savior this period has been her Apple AirPods. Now, Anna is a working mom.
This
Okay?
could go a couple of ways here.
Yeah. Working mom, and managing director of Customized. I'm just the technical side. I can't manage to choose my clothes in the morning. So she is juggling the business management of Customized, the big challenges it's facing right now with financing and staff, our premises, and all these, the headaches that any small business has to deal with. But she's also got 2 children to look after, one that's only 15 months old. So Anna's AirPods have been invaluable for her to keep her hands free while she's dealing with a call to the bank, dealing with a call to our landlord, dealing with a call to our suppliers, to open up dialogues with them, to take advantage of some of the funding that's available, to request the practical things that we're going to have to do as a business, payment holidays, agreements on whatever outgoings we've got, keeping a dialogue going with our suppliers and our customers, so that we're still in business and will be in business at the end of the lockdown and whatever else, 2021, 2022, which we will be. But the AirPods have given Anna the ability to do some work, be a mum, be a teacher, be a cook, be a wife, but also still manage our business in the hours that she designates for work.
Hope has really been, just an anchor for me, no pun intended. And I was asking her what one of the major technologies that she's been embracing during this lockdown. And she thought about it for a moment and she said, JJ, it's probably Anchor FM. And my wife, she's always been very supportive of what you and I have done with the Digital Ramble. And she's had a heart for podcasting herself. And she finally, because there's always distractions in everyday life, but this lockdown, I think, really has some silver lining to it. And she has taught herself how to use Anchor FM and has created her own podcast called Faith Fully. And she's brought a variety of different ladies on there and talked to them about their faith and her faith and challenges and successes that they've had throughout their life. And because of technology like Anchor FM, she can actually share something that she's passionate about with people from all over the world. And who knows if it resonates with them or not. I have to say, man, her listenership is challenging our listenership,
Yeah.
but I'm so excited for her, and that kind of embracing of technology allows her to have a voice and find a community.
Well, that's so fantastic to hear. JJ, I'm a huge fan of podcast, and I'm always hammering home to you, podcast. That's the long-term game. That's the legacy content in terms of when people go into the archives. That's what they'll find. Our podcast videos, I feel, disappear and get bogged down in algorithms and here today, gone tomorrow. But podcast is your long-standing testament of what you did and what you discussed and what your opinions were. So I'm delighted to hear that Hope has started the podcast and is already growing an audience, and Anchor's been an excellent platform for us. And I think now we'll start to pay attention to some of the ways she's doing her podcast as a reference, so that we can both grow each other's audiences.
Yeah, and just real quick to add to that, Gamble, is that my wife, she's not all that technically savvy, but she's been able to edit, well, to produce, to record, to edit, as well as distribute it on her own without a whole bunch of help from myself, which I just is a testament to how incredible, some of these technologies are.
And have the guests been joining her via the Anchor app, like the call-in feature?
Yeah.
So we need to get tuned into that, mate. Okay, my final one.
Number 3.
Final one. I was told to change this, but I'm going to stick with it to start with. For me, right, I'm the techie of this family, and everybody expects me to come up with something really fantastic. But when they asked me, well, what's yours then, Dad? I said, the bread machine. I've been digging this bread machine. We got a new bread machine kind of turn of the year. Our old one kind of went kaput and had done us for years, but we got this new one with a new recipe book, and I've been making all these different breads for my family and primarily for me, because I'm the one that I'll eat like a loaf of bread in a day. Morning, lunch, dinner, snacks. I'll toast or different breads. So bread machine for me. But if I've got to be techie, the one device that it's had a hammering, literally. It has had a beating and has stood up to it and has served me every day with my music while I'm in the bunker, is my Sonos Move speaker. Now, at the start of the lockdown, I gave this thing a kicking,
a
soaking and a drop. And I videoed
a couple of drops.
Yeah. I videoed the Sonos Move getting some rough treatment from myself and my son for a bit of fun, that we'd create some videos, and they were a hit with our audience, which was great. But this speaker, I've been using it in the bunker, taking it out on the driveway when I've been doing jobs on the van and playing basketball on the driveway, and then I've taken it in the back garden. The sun was out this weekend. It's got voice built in, and that's something that's, for me, stands it above a lot of the other speakers. Having either Madam A from Amazon or Google Assistant built into that outdoor speaker is fabulous to just yell for a playlist, a track, volume from the other side of the garden. And I was testing it. I was, hey, you know, Madam A, play this song or turn it up or pause. And it was working a treat. And to actually have voice outdoors, you know, I was on the driveway. I was doing some minor repairs on my wife's car. I'm not the handiest with vehicles, but I was having a go. And I was like, oh, I like this song. Turn it up. Or it was the news. Oh, I want to hear the headlines. Turn it up. And all through voice, which is just, it's just a joy. So an outdoor speaker, Sonos Move, great sound, but also with voice assistant built in.
That's cool, man. That's super cool. You know, my third item, and you know, talking about those videos, Gamble, they're just kind of going a little viral on LinkedIn right now. It's like every day I'm getting like 6 or 7 ticks of new likes on that. So if you haven't checked it out, check out. Is it on your customized or on your personal?
It's on the personal. So Kris Gamble. I think the 3 videos have had over 11 or 12,000 views. So.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Go check them out. Give it a like. Drop a little comment down there. But man, I've thought of one. I'm going to be competing against that video.
Go.
Yeah. So we're gonna test that Sonos Move and see what it can do. Yeah, so we're gonna take it out to the farm and do some stuff with it. All right.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right. So my final number three are these Logitech headphones, man. Both my daughters, and I got to get an extra pair of them because, you know, we're kind of battling between them, but my daughters are absolutely loving them for educational. Education is playing a really big part for my kids during this lockdown. And one of the things that my oldest daughter has picked up is the guitar. And she has started doing like online, online communications with a girlfriend. She'll put her headphones on. She'll be able to talk, and she's got her guitar, and she's learning how to play guitar. You know, right now she's learning different chords, trying to put together some rhythms and things like that. But she can listen to what they're doing as well as communicating and strum along. And she just, it's amazing at what you can do with a little bit of lockdown, you know, and how things change. I don't know if Sage would have ever had time to learn how to play the guitar if there wasn't the lockdown, or the, you know, or Hope starting her own podcast without the lockdown, and then Claire, and seeing her really thrive and enjoy her education. You know, I think at the beginning of this whole lockdown, Gamble, and if you go back like 5 or 6 episodes where we're talking about, you know, when's it all going to end, I was hoping for some silver lining, and I think that I'm definitely seeing some silver lining. I think I'm sensing that from other friends in my community, that there's some silver lining, and I think it was good to have a global pause, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's been a great moment for people to reflect on where they are right now, what they've done in the past, and where they want to go in the future. And I will say, you know, for me, if it wasn't for all that bread, I would have had a 6-pack at the end of the lockdown. But I've had so much bread. It's just like a big loaf.
Now you have a nice fluffy loaf. Oh, yeah, I got a fluffy loaf too, man. But it's more like a stack of tortillas.
Yeah.
But hey, man, I like my stack of tortillas. I tell you, that's something else. My wife has learned how to make, is some homemade tortillas.
Right, that's challenge accepted. I'm gonna have to check my
flour,
recipe book.
Flour and some water.
Okay, I'll do some
good tortillas.
I'll add that to my menu for the week ahead.
Man, this is always fun.
Yeah, it's
I love
so different from our normal. You know, I'm normally stuck in my truck. You're in that beautiful studio in Houston, typically, and it's been fun just using Zoom and I've actually seen it as quite a leveler. Lots of high profile shows and podcasts and you know, TV channels even are using Zoom to like interview guests and still do Saturday night mainstream high profile shows, and their guests are all joining via video conferencing. It's a great leveler. I said it a few weeks ago. It's just leveled the playground for everybody that's creating content.
Yeah, man, I can't say how excited and that I am that you and we started this digital ramble, you know, good year and a half, 2 years ago. A lot of people kind of thought we were crazy. And a lot of people still think we're crazy, but
Yeah.
I'm happy that we've been communicating with homeowners and other business owners about why we're so passionate about our stance on technology and the designs and the siloing and the nulls and the reels of what we're doing. And podcasting and video casting has really given us a platform to share our ideas and our passions for technology and making it cool and showing the purpose and the needs of having it in homes and businesses.
Yeah, well, I always wanted to get into the podcasting side of creating content, and so great to do it alongside you, mate.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like to close off the show this week and it's really a bit of a UK message. Now, we've had our 3-week lockdown, and it's been extended by until who knows when. But there's a lot of people in our industry and in other associated trades like electrical and other kind of construction related trades that are probably going to go back to work this week. And I would just highly encourage you to, first of all, do you need to go back? Is what you're doing essential? Is it needed? Can you hold on another week or another 2 weeks? Review that. If you are returning to work, you've got to look at your work practices, the equipment, your personal protection, the protection for the homeowner or the other people on the construction site, your masks, your gloves, your clothing, your tools, your workspace, your vehicle. If you've got other people sharing your vehicle, like, just be super diligent, like as if it's the biggest challenge you've ever faced. You know, the tech is easy, what we do. Our job is easy because we're all knowledgeable and experts what we do. But think of the big challenge now is to be the most thorough tradesperson on site. Be over clean, be over sensitive about your workspace and your tools and your equipment and your clothing. Just be safe out there. Keep your customers safe, keep your work colleagues safe. And obviously don't be taking things home to your family that you just don't want to be taking home.
Yeah, good. That's a good closing, Gamble, and that is definitely shared and echoed here in the States as well, mate. All right, friends. Well, until next episode, if you don't know, find yourself a home tech pro.